We didn't appreciate methane.
Sea creatures.
The only advice I can give you is to do what I did. Make friends with reality.
That too is completely powered
By the self in times of crisis.
But nonsense is the inseparable and undying brother of the supreme meaning.
If you say, what is that film about? It's really hard to say what it's about.
It's not like it's going to bubble up automatically.
What did he say?
Right now.
A raft of new research papers and articles were published during the summer of 2020, pointing to a worse than expected acceleration of all these feedback loops and tipping points, including the faster than expected melting of the Greenland ice sheet itself, which not only contributes to increasing Arctic temperatures, but also to global sea level rises.
And protect the happiness of some from the misery of others?
That's a role that people have played for millennia.
And I have also felt that in recent years especially, although it's always been an undercurrent,
What do we do about the flood? We have to figure...
That's all you need to know.
while we're on the subject, we've become so preoccupied by what we might call commercial or financial success, instead of the kind of lasting success that great art
You might find something very interesting about this.
How did we get here?
They made their choice.
now they gotta live with it.
Faster the ice within the glacier is likely to flow out. And lo and behold, we've got ourselves yet another of those pesky feedback loops that seem to be such a commonplace and prominent feature of our warming climate. So is Thwaites Glacier likely to completely collapse anytime soon?
Just a total rearranging of the senses. You didn't know what you were looking at.
Be prepared for the unexpected, and I guess that's what risk management is all about, really, thinking about the various
Layers upon layers of more and more convoluted.
Its effects on low-lying coastal regions around the planet, these higher water levels.
What's happened to this place?
If you wake up tomorrow and your basement is flooded, you have a serious problem. So your life becomes the life of the guy dealing with the flood. During that time, you can't be interested in your own change.
I feel like we were in distress even before.
But if you say, but what's the film about? What is the theme of which?
A paper from scientists at the European Commission's Joint Research Centre suggests that 300 million homes will be affected by coastal flooding in the next 30 years. The movement of currents around the planet is governed by a complex and interlinked system known as the thermohaline circulation, sometimes called the Great Ocean Conveyor Belts.
Let's be honest, there's probably going to be viewers with very short attention spans. Not me calling myself out. So feel free to play around with unique editing, funny audio cues, or text that adds a little bit of spice and keeps things moving along. I do have one more pro tip for you.
Has to grow exponentially.
But if these places warm up, the hydrates melt, releasing bursts of methane, which is an even more potent greenhouse gas than CO2. And of course, the more warming that happens, the more melting there is, which releases even more greenhouse gases, creating a classic positive feedback loop.
That's a really good argument. That's brilliant.
And that really does become a nightmare.
Beyond that, the topic almost sort of falls apart in our hands. It's sort of like you try to grasp it and it just sort of oozes through your fingers.
Yeah, you could argue that it's about utopias. You could argue then that the way that the film presents the idea of utopia is like something like a collective dreams, really.
The same phenomenon also stunted the growth of hard corals, which need carbonates to build their skeletons too.
Let me ask you a question. You hear that?
With this Atlantification that is happening now, with warm Atlantic water increasing its inflow to the Arctic, it's hugging the Siberian Arctic slope at the right seawater depth, 300 meters plus or minus, where the gas hydrogen stability zone's upper edge is. There is good reasons to study the stability of Siberian Arctic margin slope hydrates. And we're doing that. We did that in 2020, and we're working up this data. Yes, we found that releasing over substantial areas at that depth on the slope, and that has not been reported before. It has not been reported yet.
What did he say?
By us either, but there are good reasons to study that further.
We also live in our dreams. We do not live only by day. Sometimes we accomplish our greatest deeds in dreams.
When you give people too much information, people say that I'm crazy.
We've never seen anything like this.
Not that I wish to imply you have been sleeping on the job.
Namely the melting together of sense and nonsense, which produces the supreme meaning. Then the spirit of the depths came to me and spoke these words. The highest truth is one and the same with the absurd.
You don't understand.
No way.
Why should you?
So, wake up.
Nobody knows how this is going to turn out.
As a tribute to Yogi Berra, I'll say you don't need faster data until you do. Take faster data and use it to find new information.
Interesting.
There has to be an answer someplace.
There is.
This system has to change.
You don't like them.
But what's the film about? What is the theme of which?
So, I don't think about a lot. I leave that up to...
As your attorney, I must remind you.
What's the mission? There is no mission.
Top secret, huh?
Yeah, sorry. So you keep going toward...
Escaping an economy battered by the...
Your choice is simple. Join us and live in peace, or pursue your present course and face obliteration.
All right.
We shall be waiting for your answer. The decision rests with you.
That's what made it so dangerous.
I know what to do.
Son, you don't know anything yet.
Which is, he says, the first step in transcending judgment is to ask yourself if you're dreaming.
We don't have much time left.
The one who asks himself if they're dreaming is the magus, the magician.
I think that what is essential for this problem is a global consciousness, a view that transcends our exclusive identifications with the generational and political groupings into which by accident we have been born.
I think that's a very brilliant insight.
If it's not your land that's going to flood, that only means people are going to come to you once theirs does. That being said, it's important to remember that at least a third of the human population, or 2.4 billion people, reside near coastal waters all around the world.
The process has begun.